Welcome back to the Banshee Swap Kids Quad build series. This is the second episode to the series. In the last episode, we talked about the differences between the RD350 motorcycle and the Banshee, and how the R5 and RD350 basically shaped the way for what the Banshee became what it is today in being one of the most iconic and sought after quads ever created. We took the time to carefully and slowly remove the engine and strip the frame down for the Kids Quad to prepare for the Banshee engine transplant, all while carefully crafting some motor mounts and aligning the sprockets properly so we don't have any issues down the road. We also talked about power to weight ratio, measured this machine's static power to weight ratio being a 0.225, and a second build coming up to clearly show how valuable power to weight actually is and how we can accomplish a lot with just a little bit of research and some good old-fashioned elbow grease. Now that you're all caught up to speed, let's get started with today's video. We need to start by custom crafting an exhaust. I actually happen to have a full DG setup here for a Banshee that I picked up a few months ago on Marketplace for about 200 bucks along with some other Banshee engine parts. I also have a spare RD350 here that I plan on restoring at some point, but has become a parts bucket for now until I'm ready to put her to use in the restoration process. We will use parts of the exhaust from both the DG expansion chambers to give us the most horsepower we can achieve with this little air-cooled version of a Banshee engine. Combine that with the headers of the RD350, since the cylinder and exhaust mounting is slightly different from the RD350 to the Banshee, and we will create a sweet little ratchet-ass setup that will flow well enough for what we are doing with this project. I actually chose to MIG weld the pipes this time. However, I do prefer TIG welding to get the welds super airtight, since expansion chambers are really important in two strokes for the scavenging effect. The only reason I chose MIG welding instead was in the essence of time. I may even go back later and redo the welds with my TIG gun to make sure they are airtight before we do any racing against the competitor. One thing you may have already noticed is both sides of the exhaust are not completely equal in the fact that the bending is slightly different. However, the length will stay the same. The reason for this is the driver's side header was closer to the front of the frame, so it needed a much tighter 90-degree radius to make the turn with good flow. The passenger side, I did not have to make any pie cuts to form a tighter bend, so I decided to leave it alone. Now that we are done tacking the exhaust into a position I am happy with, and that they are fairly equal and symmetrical on both sides, we have to remove the entire thing and finish welding all of it and hopefully get a finished look here in a few on this ratchet-ass setup that I creatively dreamt up in my sleep. Hours later, the exhaust is now fully welded, and we can move on to more important things, like installing the rear sprocket that came in the mail. I recruited the help of my 10-year-old son, Stupid Fast Jr. for this, as he is extremely knowledgeable on taking instructions from Dad. I'm going to show a nice shot here of how the sprocket alignment looks. I think it came out great for doing it all by eye. Big special thanks to SFJ Jr. for the help. He also installed these slick looking silencers on the back. Enjoy this awesome cinematic of how it all looks. I did spend some time trying to install the HPI electronic ignition system for this. However, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to install as the instructions aren't the best, so I decided to call it quits for this one as I'm still awaiting a few pieces for the fuel system from Amazon. Plus, like they always say, it's better to walk away from something for a bit, regain yourself, and take a better stab at it with a more clear, open mind. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next one, hopefully for a first start and first ride. Later.